You wonder why college education costs so much. I mean, this is crazy. You think about, Laura, Americans want they want safe cities, they want affordable gas, they want freedom. Instead, we get increased crime, increased record inflation, and we get diversity counselors, for goodness sake. So yeah, maybe we wouldn't have to cancel student debt if we weren't paying for things like this.
Well, in my hometown, or right near my hometown in Connecticut, just so happens a friend of mine tonight from high school sends me an advertisement for a new diversity or equity director. I think it's West Hartford, Connecticut. And I click on it, it says, well, you have to have a diversity, equity, or inclusion certificate to apply. I don't know what that is. And the salary is $112,000 a year in one, Connecticut town. Think about the racket this is.
No, it's ridiculous. And the other thing is, this is why it's so scary. It's part of this whole cancel culture mentality. It's a part of the attack on First Amendment and free speech rights. And that's the part that troubles me the most, because in the end, this is where the left wants to go, and they control the Democrat Party. They want to limit people's speech, their First Amendment liberties. We see it we see it with Fauci. We see it at colleges, universities. We see it with the entire left and the entire cancel culture mob out there who are hiring folks like this, whose sole purpose seems is to go after conservatives who want to speak out and speak the truth. And that's the part that I think scares me as much as the cost and the waste of money. But it's all part of this attack on free speech.
Yeah, well, there's a permanent bureaucracy to enforce the new speech codes, that if you transgress the speech codes, then you'll be canceled from public life, basically. And by the way, Columbia University is encouraging students to snitch on classmates for misgendering. Watch.
Asking for and using correct pronouns is a way to respect those around you and create an inclusive environment. Intentionally misgendering someone by refusing to use the correct pronouns or name is a violation of the Columbia University non-discrimination policy.
So again, they tell you what correct is, whether you believe it, biologically, religiously. They tell you what's correct, or else.
Yeah. You got to use some preferred pronoun, guys and girls sports, all kinds of craziness going on. And again, it's all an attack on the First Amendment. And if you disagree, if you actually want to exercise your First Amendment liberties today on college campuses and speak out and speak the truth, you're not allowed to. You have to agree with the left. And if you don't, they will try to cancel you. And if you try to talk at all and have a debate, they'll call you a racist, and the mob will attack you. It is scary. It's what Barry Weiss called the digital Thunderdome. You will face it if you speak the truth, if you speak common sense. And this is why we have to stop. We got a caucus we have formed, the Free Speech Caucus. Greg Murphy, Kat Kemmick, some colleagues of mine are doing great work working with college students to stand up for people's ability to exercise their First Amendment liberties.
When you guys get back into power, you got to take all this funding away from these schools. And by the way, the same thing, going back to what I said in the angle about the collaborators with China, that's another danger. Earlier this year, an ex-Ohio State professor was sentenced to 37 months, Congressman Jordan, in prison for sharing work with China. He admitted he lied on applications, used NIH grants to develop China's expertise in rheumatology, immunology, et cetera. We got to crack down on this. They're infiltrating, seems like, every prominent university and college across this country.
And Laura, the Biden Center at University of Pennsylvania, that's where we have to focus as well, because we know they're getting all kinds of China. There's been stories on this. There needs to be oversight and investigation done on that as well if the American people do what I think they're about ready to do, which is put us back in power.